punch for punch, you know.
4 of those 5 rides have been in the 90s, including tonight, 91. How'd she feel?
Yeah, she I don't know, she bowled out of there left hard. I knew I got to spurt out, and then she come up and really like explosive. They named her right, but yeah, it really come back at me, and she kind of had me. I felt like I was in a jam, but just hustling, and like I said, that's about all you could do on that one, and finished her off pretty good. She still bucked me off. I didn't even make the pickup, man.
Well, as long as she bucks you off after that 8-second horn, nobody cares,
Yeah,
just
right.
other than you. Zeke, last year you had such a great NFR, and you haven't had time to think about this, but does it feel like it did last year after 5 rounds because you're having another great NFR, 2 go-round wins, checks in 4 out of the first 5? What do you think?
Yeah, it's feeling good, man. Just out here doing my job, riding my broncs. My job's to ride, every horse they draw me the best I can, and that's what we're gonna try to do.
Um, so, last question for you, and that is the world standings race. I think you probably just jumped back into the number 1 spot. It's been a ping pong match in the world standings with you and Cade and Sage and all the guys back and forth. Do you pay any attention to that at all, or do you just let annoying people like me talk to you about it?
Yeah, I just hear it from you guys. I don't pay attention to that. Like I said, my job's to ride the bucking horses. That's your job, is to figure out the stats.
Well, we'll figure it out. And right now, Zeke Thurston is having one heck of an NFR. 91 on Explosive Skies to win round number 5. There is a shootout at the Thomas and Mack Corral developing in the saddle bronc riding, and it involves 3 cowboys in particular. You just heard from one of them, Zeke Thurston. The other 2 are Cade Bruno and Sage Newman.
And Cade Bruno looks as good as I've ever seen him look. But Sage Newman is finally having the NFR that he's dreamed of since he's come in here with so much of a lead in the world standings coming into the NFR. But when you have consistency, when you have just the mindset of Zeke Thurston, I feel like he's got a little bit of the advantage right now.
Cade Bruno won the performance earlier today on Summit's catwalk with an 88.5-point ride. Sage Newman placed both last night and today. He's moved to the number 1 spot, $6,100 ahead of Zeke. And Cade is, $7,000 behind Zeke. And then you drop all the way down past Stetson, who's not competing, to the number 5 spot. That's why I say there is a real battle brewing between those 3 guys.
Absolutely, but when you look at today's draw, I think that Cade Bruno probably might edge out these other guys. He has yesterday's delivery from Calgary Stampede. Sage Newman has Wild Valley. When you look at Zeke, he's got South Point Buckles. I mean, all are good horses, but I think that Cade has the best one in those 3.
Well, we will see what happens tonight as you take a look at the draw for tonight and go around number 7 in the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. 4 performances left for men and women to try to add a little extra Christmas cash in 2023. Tie-down roping, it is quickly becoming, stop me if you've heard this one before. Remember, he placed in 8 out of 10 rounds and won 2 last year. It's becoming the Caleb Smith show.
Absolutely, and he and Pockets, they're like poetry in motion. They get great starts. Pockets picks the calves up right in front of the chutes, and he keeps his calves on their feet when he turns around to tie them.
Yeah, look at what Caleb did. Round 5, he was 6'9". Round 6, he turned around and was 6'8". Riley Webb in the number 2 spot last night. Tough Cooper in the number 2 spot today. Haven Medjid has been really solid. Shane Hanchy riding Peso has picked up a couple of 6th-place paychecks. So that's what's happened over the last 2 go-rounds. Caleb Smith, prior to this year, had won 2 go-rounds on a couple of occasions. This year, he's already won 3. We had a chance to talk to him about it. Well, I'm starting to think Caleb Smith likes being interviewed because he's just won 3 out of 6 go-rounds at this Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and just roped the fastest calf of the rodeo so far, 6'8". Nice start to your Wednesday morning.
Yeah, it was a good Wednesday morning.
I asked you before we started this, how many go-rounds have you won at the NFR? What's your most in 1 year? This is it. You've won 3 out of 6.
Yeah, I've won 2 twice, but yeah, 3 go-rounds in 1 year. That's my best so far.
So this group of calves are the same calves who were out in go-round number 3. Tell me about them.
This is small pen. I think they tied them pretty fast last time. I don't know, 7, a long 7, I don't think placed, but it was actually kind of soft this morning. I was at the end of the round, second to last, and 7-2 was winning first. I figured when I backed in there at least, 1, maybe 2 6s, but I had the calf that Riley already tied in 6-9 and won the 3rd round, so I was kind of already at an advantage, and I just tried to do my job and not mess up when you got a calf like that.
Now, when you got a good calf like that, you got to use him. Pockets work great.
Yeah, I mean, he's spot on every time. I just really got to worry about myself.
So you've just won your most number of go-rounds in an NFR in your Hall of Fame career with 3, and you still got 4 more shots at him, including one tonight. This could be a $60,000 day.
Yeah, it'd be a good day if it is that.
I'm calling it.
Happens.
I'm calling it. Caleb Smith just won the tie-down roping. Fastest time of the rodeo so far. Time is 6.8. Go round number 6. Caleb Smith and Pockets have become. You think of great horse combinations in history. Remember when we always used to talk about Charmaine and Scamper?
Oh, yeah.
Caleb Smith and Pockets are kind of becoming that same kind of combination.
Absolutely. And there's been a lot of really great horses in the tie-down roping, but I think that Pockets has definitely put himself on the top.
Riley Webb continues to lead in the world standings, although that lead has shrunk just a little teeny tiny bit. He's about $98,000 ahead of Shad Mayfield, who has placed in the last 2 go-rounds. Haven Medjid third. Caleb Smith came in 7th. He is 4th. Tough Cooper came in 15th. Let's give a little tough love to Tough Cooper. He has moved all the way up to the number 5 spot.
Absolutely. He won 2nd in the go-round this morning, but Caleb Schmidt is just climbing the ladder, but I don't think he's going to catch Riley Webb. Currently, right now, if we're looking at the average, Riley Webb is sitting 2nd in the average, and Haven Medjid is 1st in the average.
Yeah, and there's a second between them. Tough Cooper is 3rd, and Caleb Smith is in the number 6 spot in that aggregate, and he is almost 10 full seconds behind Haven Medjid in the number 1 spot. A lot can change. Somebody can break a barrier. Somebody can miss a calf above them. But there's a look at the top 8. They pay 8 places Blaine Cox in that number 8 spot right now in the aggregate.
I love that we talk about the average, and then the other part of me cringes because I know that the average really comes into play huge at the world standings, but it's only the 7th go round. Yeah. We still have so much more rodeo to get into. Yeah,
we're just getting into as the stomach churns moments over the next few nights of this National Finals rodeos. Round 7, 8, and 9 do a lot more, I think, to decide who the world titles are, particularly rounds 8 and 9 than round 10 do even.
Absolutely.
Because those are the rounds that set up what happens in round 10.
Yeah, and if you play the average game up until here, you go out in round 9, then you lost a lot of opportunity for go-round money. So really, you kind of need to take every run, one run at a time, and really just make the run that you have on the animal that you have drawn.
Yeah, Caleb Smith talked about it. Just take it round by round, see what calf they run in for me, and go rope him. And that's what he has done. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, the barrel race, Brittany Posey Tanazi is about to set all kinds of records. She already has. We'll talk about that, and we will talk about bull riding, the amazing story of Kai Hamilton, and the resurgence of Sage Kimzey. That's coming up. You're watching NFR Central.
The richest 10 days of rodeo in Oklahoma is coming, and it all starts with the WCRA Stampede at the E. January 3rd through 6th at Lazy E Arena. Feel the rush of the Stampede come alive with 200 of the world's toughest and fastest rodeo athletes competing for the $1 million Triple Crown of Rodeo. This is real rodeo. WCRA Stampede at the E. January 3rd through 6th. Tickets on sale now at lazye.com.
The accessibility, the access that you have with Purina Feeds, the consistency of the product, those are essential if you want to make the finals.
It is such a blessing to be able to make a living doing what we love. And Rolo, he gives his best every time too. That's why I feed Purina.
It's really neat to be a part of a company that truly cares about the horses, truly cares about the animals. I don't think you get that with a lot of companies, but you do get that with Purina.
Recapping a very, very busy last 24 hours in the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo with a performance number 5, the halfway mark reached last night. Today, the bonus performance to make up for that today the performance to make up for the performance that was lost back on December the 7th after the tragic shooting at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas campus. The Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association doing a really good job earlier today of remembering those people. Invited a bunch of kids to come in and watch it for free. It was they had fun, I think.
It was a blast. They asked how many times this was their first rodeo, and the whole crowd erupted. When we walked in today, they asked for our student IDs.
Really?
And so that was kind of fun. He said, "Do you have your student ID?" And I was like, "Yeah, no." I like where your head's at,
Yeah.
but no, I don't.
I used to have one, but that was about 40 years ago. So, a bunch of University of Nevada, Las Vegas students there in the crowd. It was really, really a good morning of rodeo. Let's talk about the barrel racing event and take a look at go-round number 5. Summer Kozel on Apollo at 13:42 to win the round. And then Emily Beisel on Liza wins go round number 6 with a time of 13:60. Brittany placed second in round 5. Round 6 this morning was the first go round she has not picked up a check-in.
Yeah, and she switched horses. She got on Birdie for round number 6, which I completely understand. You know, she has been doing such a good job jockeying.
Yeah.
And Birdie always has a lot of success in the Thomas and Mack, so I think it was a good choice today. Though she didn't place in the round, she's placed in all the other go-rounds, and I just think it's Brittany's not going to lose this gold buckle.
It is very much Brittany's. You just have to look at it and say, I don't know how anybody catches her. There are a lot of people who've had good NFRs. Brittany has had a fabulous year, and it is continuing at this National Finals Rodeo. Summer Kozel, she's from South Dakota. Mom of 4, this is her first trip to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. She rides a horse called Apollo. She used to hold the arena record in Cheyenne. She set a 5th go-round record in the Little Arena at the Thomas and Mack last night. I had a chance to talk to her. Well, the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo go-round number 5 is in the books, and Summer Kozel just made the fastest run in the history, round 5 of the NFR, 13:42. Nice run.
Thank you very much.
Talk to me about Apollo, your horse. Was there a little bit of a learning curve to get used to the small pen and the kind of blind run to the first barrel? Tell me about that.
So, actually, I derbied him, and all we ran was inside. And then when we got outside, he figured out how fast he really could run. And I used to always say my horses don't like to run outside. Paulo doesn't like to run inside since he ran outside, but the truth was I do not like to run inside. And so, I had a little talk with God, and it was, there's power of life and death in the tongue, and I was professing death onto our runs in the arena. And so before Sioux Falls, I said, you know what? Everybody's wondering who my inside horse is going to be. Apollo's going to show them who's my inside horse, and it's the truth. There's power of life and death in tongue. You turn it around, and it worked out.
So Apollo has now set arena records in the Giant Arena in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and in go-round number 5 in the National Finals Rodeo. You got a pretty good horse there.
He's amazing. He is.
When you go down to the South Point tonight, how many people are going to be there with you?
I have no idea. I just know my mom and my dad and Kevin and I's 4 kids.
Tell me about Apollo from the standpoint of breeding, bloodlines, age. Just kind of give everybody the description of your horse.
Apollo is by Ain't Seen Nothing Yet out of Firewater Flyer, who Carol Warren raised. He actually was becoming a calf horse up until he was at the late age of 6. And my friend Emily Polly started him on the barrels from the Andersons. And I saw his first ever run with like 60 days on the pattern. Emily had him, and I bought him that day. And so we just I bought him not even thinking about rodeoing. It was just to go for a backup horse to the Ruby Buckle because I had another Ain't Seen Nothing Yet that I was winning a lot of futurities on. And he just caught fire after it took us about 4 months of him getting his confidence and seeing all the things, and he just caught fire, and he's so broke that it was easy for me to just run him up in anywhere because I knew as soon as I squeezed a butt cheek, he was coming to me. So we just went from there.
Congratulations, Summer.
Thank you very much.
She's won a 2nd and a 1st at this National Finals Rodeo, her very first trip to the Thomas and Mack, and tonight her very first trip to the South Point for an NFR go-round buckle. Summer Kozel, 13:42 tonight. You might remember Summer set the arena record in Cheyenne and Slack in 2022, broke that record in the short round in 2023, and then 3 or 4 runs later, Sue Smith came out and broke that record and ended up winning the Cheyenne Frontier Days. But to have a horse that can hold an arena record in a big arena like Cheyenne and set a go-round record in a little arena like the Thomas and Mack, that's a testament to Apollo.
It's a testament to Apollo, but let's go back to round number 4 when her reins flipped over over Apollo's head on the backside of the second barrel, and she gets around the third with one set of reins and finishes the run to kind of salvage it, really, and then come back the next round and win the round.
Brittany Posey-Tanazi, $372,000 for the year. That's a new single-season earnings record with 5 rounds of the NFR plus the average to pay out. Emily Beisel won the round this morning with a 1360. Jordan Briggs in the number 3 spot. You see Summers in the number 6 spot right now. So that's the way the barrel racing world standings look. Let's talk about the average in the barrel race. And in that average, you know, remember there's $78,000 available to somebody on Saturday night after the final run is made. And look where Brittany's at.
And Brittany, like we said, got on Birdie for round number 6 this morning. She'll be back on Benny, Busby's quarter horses. Jordan Briggs and Rollo, obviously, as consistent as it gets. You know, she kind of had a little bit of a hiccup today where we thought maybe she was going to hit the first barrel because she leaned into it a little bit. But always consistency is the key with those guys, and that's why they have gold buckles already.
5 barrel racers have been clean on all 6 of their runs right now at the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. The bull riding, it's been the Kai Hamilton story ever since the first night of this NFR. It is starting to become the Sage Kimzey story. Kind of a poster child memory for their lifetime memory in round 5. Only 2 qualified rides, Sage and Trey. Finished 1-2, and then look at round 6. Sage splits the round with Josh Frost, and we started the show by telling you, yes, Kai Hamilton did get on today, and he made an 85.5-point ride in 1/3 after that frightening injury that he suffered last night. Trey Kimzey's ridden 4 out of 5. He split 6 today.
And it's been an impressive bull riding in general. Sometimes at the Thomas and Mack, there's not a lot of luck for the bull riders, but there's a lot of luck right now. But Kai Hamilton, it turned into Superman this morning, and I'm not sure if it's Iron Man or Superman, but from getting carried out in a stretcher to getting that behind you, the mental capacity that he has to have to put that behind him and not have emotions of scaredness or anything like that, and to come back and be 85.5 and place in a round where, like you said, 18 hours before he was carried off into on a stretcher and taken to the hospital. It wasn't just that they took him out. They took him all the way to get checked out, MRIs, all of the above.
Let's talk about Sage Kimzey for a minute. Round 4, he was second. He and Kai Hamilton, the only 2 bull riders to ride. Round 5, he was first. He and Trey, the only 2 bull riders to ride. Round 6, he splits it with Josh Frost. In the last 3 days, Sage Kimzey's won $126,540. A bunch of it came last night when he made a 92-point ride on a bull called Polar Express that had never been ridden. Here's Sage Kimzey. Well, big last 2 nights for Sage Kimzey. He wins round 5 with a 92 on Polar Express, a bull that had never been ridden before. As a bull rider, you've ridden a lot of unriddens. Is that kind of a special feeling?
It is for sure. I mean, I don't know. Our job really doesn't change a whole lot, whether they've been ridden a lot or been ridden not so much. And you know, I was just really excited about the bull. His bucking style kind of matches up perfect with mine. And you know, if I could have hand plucked one, it would have been him.
You win first. Your brother Trey wins second. My math isn't real good, but you won $52,000 tonight. He won $46,000. You won that $46,000 last night. You've won almost $100,000 the last 2 nights.
Yeah, it'd be right at that 99 that we have total in the round, and you know, it's pretty special, especially to split it with my little brother. It doesn't get much better.
That's maybe the best night you guys have had riding bulls together, I think, isn't it?
I'd say so. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So 5 rounds to go. You rode your first one, didn't get scores on your next 2, and now you've been 88, 92 back-to-back. Where are you?
Yeah, I feel physically as good as I have probably since 2019, and that's the biggest thing for me. Usually when I'm healthy, I'm winning. So, you know, just keep taking care of my body, keep the nose to the grindstone, and just keep taking care of business. I got a great bull for tomorrow morning's perf, and I feel like I got a little bit of edge in that because I know Steele's going to wake me up pretty early. So I feel like a lot of the young guys, it'll be rolling them out of bed early. I'll be already like all the way through my community coffee and ready to go.
So let me ask you one final question. There was a kind of a cloud that fell over the arena when Kai Hamilton got hurt tonight. As the last bull rider out, you guys are all good friends. What does that do to a bull rider? When you see that happen and you've got to hop on a victory lap horse right after that? How does that affect you?
It's a scary moment. I mean, at the end of the day, all I could do is, you know, I took my hat off instantly, and John Gwatney was standing there holding a victory lap horse, and I just grabbed his shoulder and just prayed with him because, you know, it's a scary moment, very, very sobering for sure, you know, and it just goes to show, though. I mean, Kai's been laying it all out on the line every single night, and, you know, you're talking about inches from being disaster or being a superhero in one night. So, you know, thoughts and prayers are with him for sure.
absolutely. Sage, you're one of my heroes. Congratulations.
Thanks, Steve.
Bull rider Sage Kimsey, 92 tonight on Polar Express. If you were at the rodeo last night or if you were watching on television, at the conclusion of each event, the go-round winners get on a horse and take a victory lap. And Kai Hamilton, who got hurt so badly in that frightening accident, was the last bull rider to get on last night. It honestly looked to me like Sage was like, do I really have to do this? It's kind of a weird feeling when you're doing that right after they carried a guy who's not only a competitor but a really good friend out of the arena on a stretcher.
And that's rodeo for you. The camaraderie is very strong, and it takes the air out of the room when something like that happens, and especially when something like that happens to somebody who's been on top of the world all week. And Sage, he knows what it's like to be the guy that gets hurt too, and he knows what it's like to be the guy that is on top of his game and gets hurt. And I saw an interview of him, and he was very emotional talking about his wife and his son and how much they have given to him in the last year and a half to get him through his injuries. He did say he's going to take some time off of pro rodeoing and go focus on the PBR tour, which is fine, and that's great for him because it's going to allow him to have more time with his family.
So let's take a look at the world standings. And a friend of mine, thank you, Corey Keith, rodeo announcer, just sent me an interesting fun fact of the day. Kai Hamilton has made $3,240 for every second he has successfully ridden a bull.
It's a good day.
That's a
good second.
That's a good second's worth of work. Kai's won $417,614. He's in the number one spot. Josh Frost moved up to third with his split today. Sage Kimsey's fourth. Kai's number one in the average. Sage is number two, and Trey Kimsey, Sage's brother, is having the best national finals he's ever had. He's sitting third in the average, ridden all but two of his bulls.
Yeah, it's pretty fun when you see brothers do so well, and you see guys like Cody Teal coming back to the NFR. But, Superman Kai Hamilton, I don't know what else to say. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of the week plays out. He's not going to have a very long recovery time. He didn't have very long after the accident last night. And then to get on a bull today, he's got a little gap of time, and then the perf starts at 5:45.
Yeah, apparently his recovery time is 18 hours.
Right.
Because that's literally what it took for him to get back on that bull that he rode this morning for 85.5 points. Who's getting on what tonight? Let's take a look at the stock draw. Josh Frost gets on a bull called OLS Tubbs Hot Pants. I hope he rides him just because of that name. You see two bull riders are out. We knew Stetson Wright was not going to be able to compete. Apparently Tristan Parker has a shoulder injury, so the Resistol Rookie of the Year will not ride tonight. He will also probably not ride tomorrow night. Cody Teal gets on Record Racks Coupe de Ville. They won some money on that bull. Jared Parsonage gets on Bayou Bengal. That's the bull of the year from Pete Carr. Jordan Hansen, who's the other Canadian in the field, travels with Jared Parsonage, gets on the bull that Jared had to win the round the first time these bulls were out, a bull simply called
I think it's a great name.
Yeah.
You'll remember it, but I'm excited for Jared's matchup. I think that he's coming off of probably, like you said, the best finals that he's ever had as well. So hopefully he can ride the bull of the year and get another go-around win.
So that's the way that the bull riding will shape up tonight at the Thomas and Mack. It should be a great rodeo performance tonight. We're going to take a time out, tell you about something special that the barrel racers are doing tonight, and I have some sad news I have to report, and we'll talk about that coming up as well. Thank you for joining us. This is NFR Central.
Using the virtual rodeo qualifier is as easy as 1, 2, 3. First, log in to the WCRA app at app.wcrarodeo.com. Then, find your event and select when you're up. Finally, check out. It's just that simple.
Have you nominated with the WCRA to qualify for the Cinch World Championship Junior Rodeo? Over $200,000 added money at the legendary Lazy E Arena in Guthrie, Oklahoma. The top 16 on the WCRA DY leaderboard in each discipline will qualify with no entry fees. The leaderboard top 16 will be seeded into the semifinals round with a chance at a World Championship with a cash bonus. Download the WCRA DY Rodeo app and hit nominate to qualify for one of the richest youth rodeos in history. Visit us at dy.rodeo and nominate today.
There is a lot going on in Las Vegas as we are enjoying the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. When the NFR moved to Las Vegas in 1985, if you had a chance to talk to the folks from Las Vegas events, and Lindsay, your family played a big part in this. Cotton Rosser played a big part in getting the National Finals Rodeo to Las Vegas back when it moved here in 1985. But at that time, if you were a cab driver or a bartender or somebody, working in the service industries, particularly in this town, you might have gotten laid off in the month of December. Now you can't find enough hours in the day.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter if you are at the Rio, if you're at the convention center, if you're at Resorts World, at Rodeo Vegas. It is packed shoulder to shoulder everywhere that you go. They have the all-in barrel race, the all-in breakaway, the Masters breakaway, the World Series of team roping at the South Point. There's so many things going on. There's, I think, 6 or 7 different places you could buy your wife a Christmas present here.
Yeah, there really are. Plus, with all those different competitions, the World Series of team roping, we will update what's happening at the World Series tomorrow. It's going to pay out somewhere in the neighborhood and maybe over $16 million at the South Point.
Which is more than what the prize money is for the NFR if you look at the numbers. The sport of team roping has evolved so much, but what it's done, and it's become very inclusive to all levels of team ropers, and the World Series of team roping is the place that's done that.
Right. So all of that is happening here in Las Vegas. We thank you for joining us on this show. We're trying to cover the NFR and the other events that are going around town. If you and your friends and family miss any part of this show and you want to go back and find it later on, all you have to do is get on to the 8 Seconds Media Facebook page, Next Gen Rodeo Facebook page, and you can find the show anytime. One of the biggest fundraisers of the year for the Justin Cowboy Crisis Fund is about to happen.
It's tomorrow. The ladies' luncheon is at 11 at the South Point. It's maybe one of my most favorite activities during the NFR. I was lucky enough to get to model when Wade made the NFR. They take first-year wives. They turn them into models for the day, for the morning. They get to wear all these just amazing outfits from all the different designers in the Western industry, and it's a fun morning. It's a fun lunch. Paula Gong does a great job hosting that for the ladies, and it is, if you've never been, you should always try to go and support such a great cause.
Yeah, that is happening tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 11 at the South Point.
Awesome. So let's take we will get a report tomorrow about how much money was raised, hopefully, and it will be a lot. Tonight, the barrel racers are doing something they have done for the last few years. It's called Honor Tags for Heroes. And thanks to Dave and Gail Mattern from Kansas, who sent me all of this information. Honor Tags is a program with the goal of remembering and honoring women who have sacrificed their lives for service in the military, first responders, or law enforcement. Every one of the barrel racers will be wearing a dog tag commemorating a woman who has served, lost her life in the military, in service, as a first responder, in service. Some of those honor tags go back years. But the thing about it that's fun for the ladies, for the barrel racers, is nobody just walks up and hands them a dog tag. They get to know the families. They get to know the people they are representing. And a lot of them, I think, have stayed in touch with some of those families through the years. It's a great program.
It is a great program. And I think Stevie Hillman has such a deep impact on this. And I think she was one of the few people that got it started. But what a great thing to honor women of rodeo, honoring women who have, had the greatest sacrifice of all in giving their lives for our country.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to stop and think while we're having a whole lot of fun at a rodeo, who the people are that make it possible to do those things in every aspect of our lives. So thank you to the WPRA. Thank you to the barrel racers. Like I said, Dave Mattern, his wife Gail, very involved in getting this all started with the WPRA barrel racers at the National Finals Rodeo. Last thing I want to tell you about today, I really wish I didn't have to tell you about. One of the greatest voices of the last decade, 2 decades, 3 decades in professional rodeo has passed away. A gentleman named Mike Mathis out of Texas. This is posted, as you see, from the Dixie National, a rodeo that Mike had announced for years in Jackson, Mississippi, and courtesy of WLBT television and radio. This story appeared this morning, and the story started to go around. The longtime voice of the Dixie Nationals passed away. With great sadness, the commissioner, Andy Gibson, posted, I learned this morning that a good friend, the one and only Mike Mathis, passed away to be with the Lord. Mike had been a many-time voice of the Ram National Circuit Finals, had worked big rodeos like Jackson, Salt Lake City, and more. He had been a man who had served the PRCA. He'd been our announcer's representative to the board of directors for a lot of years. Mike Mathis was a good friend. When I moved to Texas, Mike put me on probation. I moved to Texas from Oregon. He said, okay, you're on probation for at least the next 10 years. I wish he was around to tell me I still was. Mike, Godspeed, cowboy. You will be missed. What a great man. That old gravelly voice has been a fixture at so many rodeos for so long.
Yeah, he will definitely be missed. I got the chance to get to know him at some of Grandpa's rodeos, and just a wonderful man, and really, really honored and loved the sport and the production of rodeo. He was very instrumental with a lot of different things.
He had been a part of a lot of rodeos for a long time. The folks at the Dixie National in Jackson pointed out he had been their announcer for the past 25 years. To be at any rodeo for a quarter of a century in this industry is something special. I wish we didn't have to leave you with that story, but we do. Mike Mathis passing away overnight, and we will tell you more as we find out. So that's the way it goes. On the positive side, we get to go round number 7 tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be another action-packed. There's so many great matchups, and I'm kind of excited to see the girls back on some of their number 1 horses in the barrel race, but more importantly, we hope for safety, and we hope for everybody to have a healthy go-round, and, you know, as a wife and a mom, it worries me what Kai Hamilton's doing, but I know that he has the best medical care that's going on, and you know, Superman.
You mentioned barrel racers. Haley's getting back on Sister tonight. Sue Smith's getting on a horse called Rockin' the Guns. And I just got a note, Brittany Posey-Tanasi is getting back on Benny, and Wenda Johnson is changing horses tonight. She's getting on a horse called French Winner, Smokin' French Winner, simply known as Smoke. Haley and Wenda still looking for their first paychecks at this National Finals Rodeo, hopefully giving Sister a day off, and hopefully maybe the horse change for Wenda will do them some good. Hopefully. Yep. We'll see. We'll talk to you about it tomorrow. 3 o'clock Pacific every day, 6 o'clock on the East Coast on the Next Gen Rodeo Facebook page and on my 8 Seconds Media Facebook page. You can come back and find the show anytime. God bless everybody. For Lindsay Rosser-Sumter and our team who worked their tails off today to get this all together, I'm Steve Kenyon. God bless. Have a great day. We'll see you tonight. Go round number 7 of the National Finals Rodeo.